Let's go! Pucking Panthers podcast. We're back in the studio. Let's go. This is a very Brooklyn-based show we have tonight, and oh man, we got the Panthers game, Battle of Florida, Panthers Lightning happening right now. And I need to turn on my red light. We'll get to that. But first, bringing in all the co-hosts that we have for tonight, we got.
All right, so yes, I did mention Seth Jones as a potential target for us. This was on our first show. That would have been what? A little 5 to 6 weeks ago. So this was well before any of this happened. And I was very wishy-washy about it. Also, I said it wouldn't cost that much to get him, which was wrong. But otherwise, I really thought that this guy was a target all along. I knew he was on the market. I know the kind of player that Zito and Maurice like. They like guys who have been in the league for a while, and look, we're here to win cups now. In the past I have said I was a little bit concerned about running the cupboard bare, but hey, we're all in now, and this is what I had to say about it.
Two, one.
Some people we could target defensively.
We have sound, right?
This is going to sound ridiculous because a lot of people had mocked him to us back in 2013, 14, 12. Seth Jones. I think that he gets paid a lot. I think his contract is 9.5 through 2026. But I think Chicago has a retention spot. They could retain some salary. They just helped with that massive Natchez and Rantanen trade. Maybe they want some more late round picks. He could be a second pairing defenseman. He can QE the power play. I don't know. Could be worth it.
Wow.
And right in the group chat, I immediately was like, Chris called that
shit. That's true. It's true. I wouldn't have said that he was my first target, but he was in those top 3 or 4 guys. I think he does exactly the things that we
continue as normal, assuming that people can hear us. We're live watching this game. Seth Jones debuting. He just had a real good break where he actually tried to cut into the middle. We don't really see that, Court, from a lot of our. I guess we have so many stay-at-home defensemen at the moment, like
Defensemen.
Mikola.
We need a solid offensive defense.
And like Chris was saying, like a minute muncher, somebody who's gonna play like half the game.
Muncher gives me the vibe of moist. Let's not use that one.
Apologies. Yeah, no, I mean he eats minutes.
There you go.
He
Way better.
like I was saying.
Back on, guys.
We're good. Okay, keep going.
Averaging, I don't know where we cut off, but yeah, he averages 25 minutes a night. I don't think he's going to be expected to do quite that much for us. Maybe 20, 22. But that also takes a little bit off of Ekblad and Forsling. And then once we are in the playoffs, assuming a healthy roster, we're not going to have to see too much of Kulikov and either Schmidt or Balinskis. I don't even know who's playing tonight.
I saw Schmidt out there. Yeah.
Schmidt's out there. Okay, that's
and
fair.
Then, who do we have? Oh, that's Samo. Never mind.
It's Sam out right now. We have Mikola. I'm excited to see them play together. I think they're going to play off each other really well.
Right. Like sort of that stay-at-home guy and a guy who can be a little bit more offensive. Now, how do you guys feel about giving up Knight here? I mean, now Bob is in net. Bob seems to be like, he's having a really good game right now. I think the quality of chances that the Lightning have had this game are up there. But yeah, I mean, without having a backup and not having somebody who's like your regular starter, like how is that going to impact us as we head towards the playoffs?
Well, should we first talk about the elephant in the room or the lack of Alex in the room?
Oh, yeah, I mean, so there's a reason why it's that's why Ryan is just, he's like a wanted man. He's always on the run.
I don't know why that one.
Alex can't even get himself out of bed today. He is so heartbroken the fact that Spencer Knight was traded. So our thoughts and prayers. What'd you say?
Our biggest Knight defender.
Our biggest Knight defender. The Knight of Knights, you might call him.
Our biggest Knight defender, whose companion in the argument is Knight's biggest detractor in Ryan, who didn't want us to even say his name because
he wasn't in the building.
He's like, the dude's not even in the building, and we're yelling his name.
Yeah.
So I really like Knight. I agree with Ryan. I thought it was a little bit cringe to be screaming his name, specifically in the 2023 Stanley Cup Finals when we were playing the Vegas Golden Knights and they screamed Knight.
Dumb, yeah.
So I was there for one of the games. We lost, obviously. We lost pretty much all of them, and before I said red, but I didn't say Knight because we were playing the Knights in our own barn. Why are we shouting Knight? Like that's their thing. Otherwise, I was okay with it for the rest of that season. Like, we were showing support to a player that, like, we're, as a fan base, I think, huge on. And whether he performed the way we expected or not, I think all of us had an attachment to Spencer Knight. I think he was a fan favorite, and we were all rooting for him to be the future. But that's the thing is he doesn't fit our timeline, unfortunately, based on the moves that we've made recently. We are in win now mode, and Spencer Knight is not going to play in the playoffs.
I've continually watched him play, and I continue to be nervous when Spencer Knight is in net. I've countlessly just railed against it because I think he got away with a lot of wins where I was just like, I would watch our defense jump in and save him like it was a mad scramble, like somebody was jumping on a grenade whenever he was in net and there was a loose puck around. And I don't see our defense behave that way when you have Bob in net. I think there was a palpable nervousness with our team, and you know what? Good. Like the defense did better. They protected the net, but you can't rely on that guy to one day grow into be your starter. And I know that like I am not a goalie coach. I'm not a professional. I interviewed Rob Tallis once, That's the full extent of my expertise.
I was a lacrosse goalie. That's my expertise.
Yeah, but like, you know, I couldn't quite see Canadian media was after the World Juniors had obsessed over Spencer Knight, and I know he's American, but like they still obsessed over him because of how seriously they take the World Juniors, and I just couldn't see that franchise goalie potential that everyone else had hoped for, and I hope that he grows into it one day. He's my favorite 23-year-old, but I just think Chicago is the better option for that.
Man, I don't agree with you at all. I feel like that's why
You're my favorite 23-year-old. That's why.
I'm 21.
Well, great save.
To be clear. Yeah.
No, I don't agree. That's why you have your main goalie, and that's why you have your backup goalie, and your backup goalie is going to learn from. I think he was learning from Bobby, and I could see the times when he was almost like making Bobby moves with like. I don't know what game it was, but he had the full like throwback and like just the way he was able to just like cover the whole net. And he's a little dude.
He's very acrobatic. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and I could see that he was picking that up from Bob. He hasn't been with us that long. Like,
It feels like a long time for
He's
young,
played like
though. He's
5
like 3 or 4 years or something like that, maybe more.
He was 2020, wasn't he?
but he
2020
wasn't
draft
with
pick?
the Panthers that whole time.
Yeah, he
No,
was
he's-
down in the AHL a lot.
most of the
And,
time,
right,
yeah.
so he wasn't really playing with us. I
He
think,
did a lot of time.
and I was the first one.
He played
to
like 60
not-
games for us, 60 to 70.
in 3 years.
Yeah, well, across 5 years.
They added up. Have you guys seen the conspiracy theory that like he is like essentially on loan to Chicago
Yeah.
for the Panthers? What the hell? We just scored. Let's go!
Yay! Taylor, put up your little thing.
Who was it?
Your side by side.
Who was
Barkey was
what
in
the-
on the
Your
play.
live play
Oh
tracker.
yeah. Good call.
it?
Good call.
Oh, was it
It was
Barkey?
Barkey?
Hey, let's
Barkey.
go.
Hey.
We were just before this started.
Let's
we were
go.
having a conversation that Barkey's been a big assist man, but
Putting it in the net. You know what? I felt like a battle between him and Vasilevsky like since this game began. Look at this move. Look at that.
What a keep in.
Spinning out.
They just the defenders just stopped defending because they thought it was going out of the zone.
Beautiful
Yeah.
play.
Look at Barkey. Barkey
it was
is
almost a fake out. It looked like it was going to swag.
Strong
That
as
was
fuck.
Oh.
so beautiful.
gorgeous. And a little pick there from
And
a teammate.
Rhino assist.
That always helps.
Rhino assist. Is it time for a Rhino report?
No, I think we have
Okay.
a solid.
I can run the animation.
You have faith that
have
no.
faith.
Let's save it. Let's save the
All right,
animation.
we'll
We
save
want. We
Yeah,
need the,
there could be a Rhino goal.
Can I make a live
That's
bet?
true.
I think we're
We
gonna
got a
get
comment.
at least one more assist from Rhino tonight, if not his own goal.
Okay. We got a
All right.
Rhino prediction.
And I would bet 75 cents on that.
Now, how is it? I want to get into everybody's take on betting here, because I know not everyone here loves it. So, I personally love a little bit of money on the game. I never am gonna bet against the Florida Panthers, but if I throw, it's always like a parlay. It's always like a big hopeful, like, oh, if the Panthers get this and that, a couple shots on goal, maybe I make a lot of money. Love this comment we got here from L, which is goal.
Is that Lisa?
Yep, that's Lisa, I believe. And then
Probably doesn't want to be identified, but it's too
I
late
know, yeah,
now.
you just doxed it.
and
It
Swamp
could be
Bug,
any
we got here.
Lisa.
How do we feel about when you guys Google Panthers, the little Google card that comes up is the Carolina Panthers? I got the same problem with ALEXA.
I
think
have
we've
that. I was
complained
about to
about
say
that.
she's not here, by the way. We can say her. Although all our
We can
fans
say
at
it.
home are now gonna.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna activate their Alexa.
Oh my God.
Alexa, turn off all the lights. Gotcha.
Wow.
Alexa, put on the Florida Panthers game.
Yeah.
Alexa,
I had to say Florida Panthers.
yeah, there
'cause,
you go.
know,
Play a goal horn.
yeah.
You're like, when is the Panthers game? You're like, the Carolina Panthers will play on
They
August.
haven't
the
been
20th.
The- the- so-
relevant
I give a
in
fuck.
ever.
No, they were relevant when they lost to the Denver Broncos in 2015
They haven't been
against Peyton Manning, 2014.
decade.
So Swamp Bug, I want to say that it bothers me, but what really bothers me about it is you got to imagine how many times I Google Florida Panthers. Why hasn't the algorithm figured out
Right.
that I am looking for the Florida Panthers?
Everywhere.
I'm never looking for the Carolina
What is
Panthers.
Elon Musk even doing? this time.
Never in my life.
If not perfecting our algorithm.
Apparently,
That's a very good
EL's
question.
game stopped playing when Dan told Alexa to turn the lights off. So, a lot of power outages being started
Weird.
by our director over here.
Guess what? The rest of the show's a solo shot, motherfucker. Put the wrong guy in charge today. Lights out.
Hey.
Lights out.
Who's that in the background?
Oh, did you sneak in?
Yeah, you
That's
got-
all right. We got room.
Hey,
Hey!
welcome to the Brooklyn
Everybody
studio.
else.
All right, we got a power play going here, and Seth Jones. I
big
like how
PP.
he's been. Ooh, that was a mean hit. Are we gonna get a fucking call for that?
Was that
Is
Look
it a
at-
board?
look at Ekblad.
On Eki?
It already says we're 4-on-4 in your program, in your VO.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we can pretend
We can
that doesn't
pretend,
exist.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when you ever go to a New Year's
We're all on
party.
delays.
For the first time, I went to a New Year's party with 2 TVs, one in the backyard and one in the fucking living room. And I was in
Yes.
the living room and fucking New Year's outside. I'm like, well, why should I keep going with these useless numbers at this point? You're like, all right, 4, 3, whatever, yay. And everybody blows it. That's what this shit is.
Look at these stats we got so far. Face-offs pretty even. Hits heavily in favor. Ekblad just fucking stapled him into the boards. But we got 21 hits to 7 for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wow.
But it says
For the
we
Panthers.
still have a power play. Is that accurate?
That can't be right.
No, we have 4-on-4
I think
based on the
scoreboard just
NHL
hasn't
thing.
updated.
As a side note, I will say when I'm watching the Panthers, I have to turn off like our group chats and stuff.
Notifications.
I have to.
Yeah, me too.
I have to mute the group chats, and I have to mute the Panthers app itself because goals don't show up until after they happen. But I'm even with the fastest feeds you can get. I'm 30 seconds behind. So if it's close at the end of a period, I'll get the period's over.
Yeah, final
Notification.
7-6 or
Exactly,
something. Yeah,
and you're like,
fuck.
just give me a little suspense. But sometimes, even when I know the final score, I still like keep watching, and we have a chance, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh wait, what am I doing?
Oh my god, I love knowing.
Maybe that was a
I
mistake.
love being spoiled.
You see it
I
on like
love it.
DraftKings. Like you're
I
like,
follow
yeah.
the play-by-play on the NHL app. Like I watch it. Like I'm reading it. Like it's a story.
Yeah, I have to
prefer
actively ignore her emotions when I'm sitting next to her on the couch because I'll hear like, and I'm like, I don't want
Very
to know.
dramatic to live
I
together
don't wanna know.
and watch hockey game together. Very dramatic.
Different viewing habits.
Let's continue the night conversation, right? That's where we left off.
Yeah, we
possibly.
did.
Yes.
We did. Can we make a night banner? Do we have one?
We can, sure.
Thanks, Dan. Dan is very happy right now. Continue, Chris.
So, I do think that I think I'm higher on him than you sound like you are. Like, I do see those elite goalie flashes. I do agree that our defense kind of plays a different game when he's in net, and we protect him a little bit more. But
isn't that what you do with your second goalie? With
I
your second hand?
think in general, yeah, and he's still only 23. Like, most goalies don't come into their own until 26, 27. Like, we signed Bob at 30 to a 7-year contract. Marc-Andre Fleury's playing at 40, this year, and he's not who he once was, but
I didn't know that.
goalies can last a while, and it just takes them a long time to get going. But I don't think that he wasn't a difference maker on our roster. I don't like that we had to give up him and a first. I don't really care about a late round first at this
Remembering
point.
Spencer Knight. Hold on, our banner is cracking me up. Remembering Spencer Knight. Where's the music? Where's the in memoriam? Sorry.
Rest in peace in Chicago, Jesus. He's gonna get shell shocked. He's gonna have PTSD.
Those memes are so funny of like him walking out of the practice spotter and be like, "This is where you guys live." Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
So funny.
He's like, oh shit, this is sketchy as hell. I'll let you finish in a minute. We got a comment from Swamp Bug saying Chris been smoking dat night pack. He high AF on him.
It's true.
Yeah, I wish the Red Wings had added Knight to their ex-Panthers cadre.
Better than Lion,
Nazem.
Yeah.
or at least more
God.
potential.
They're
Lion's a
farming.
better personality, though.
We're farming for the Red Wings.
It's true. Can we have
Okay.
Tarasenko back? We should have just traded
I know.
Hey,
I love
Knife for
Laddie.
Tarasenko and figured the Seth Jones thing out separate. I cannot believe Seth Jones got as much as he did, though.
I'm shocked.
But who
Like, are you talking about contract wise, or you mean going the other way for him?
going the other way for him?
Yeah.
But
How much Chicago got for him?
What was it? Ryan Lindgren the day before? It was a defenseman got moved the day before, and the price was. I was surprised at how much it took. So I think that is just the market,
right now.
and it's hard to find right-handed defensemen. Even a guy as maligned as Seth Jones was in Chicago, like it. And I think most people recognize he's still a good player. He wasn't worth 9.5, but to get them to retain 2.5 as well, 2.5 doesn't sound like a lot, but they're doing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like that's right when they're gonna start competing for cups, probably, or competing for the playoffs at least, theoretically.
Yeah.
Got him.
No, I think it's smart from Chicago. I don't like what we gave up, but they get
What's the
their
condition
goaltender
on
of the
first
future.
round pick?
So the condition on the first round pick is weird because it already had a condition on it from the Tkachuk trade.
Only if we have it.
Yeah, so I might have given bad information in the group chat, but we cannot trade that 2026 pick as far as I know, because it's not going to happen, but because it hasn't happened yet. Our 2025 that we traded in the Tkachuk trade was protected. It was lottery protected. Obviously, we are not a lottery team this year, but because the standings aren't final, it's still technically wrapped up right now.
Right.
So 99% chance the 2026 pick is going. We still have our 2027. Those are kind of the
So
conditions.
is that what it would become? Like if we can't give them the 2026,
If we
like,
lost-
it's null and void.
No, it would become the 2027 pick, first round pick. The only way it would happen is if we lost every game
Like
for the rest of the year,
season.
basically, and some dark horse teams, rise up. We would have to pick in the lottery. I think that's the only way that it would convey.
It's like to
27.
think we've
Secure?
graduated from those days.
Do we feel good about that? How do you guys feel about that?
I think we have a chance of not finishing in the lottery.
Which is like
Thank
in which
you.
year? You mean in like?
I meant 2027, giving that up.
Oh, 2027. We're going to have 2027. Are you saying for like another trade this year?
Yeah.
I don't want to give up our 2027 first this year.
Mhm.
Next year, maybe, like if we're still feeling like we're competing, or if we give up the first, it has to be for a player
like, who are we really
we
lacking
can
now? Like, do we want a better second goalie?
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Is part of it.
How do we get Stolarz back? Is my question.
Where's Alex Lyon?
I wanted to come back tonight one more time because I do want to talk about Stolarz.
Do we think
I'm happy
Alex
to go back
Lyon,
tonight.
like who is actually like a viable candidate? Say, okay, first off, we need the discussion about is there anybody within our organization that can fill this role? I think like a lot of people are knocking Chris Drieger's stats in the AHL, but like the AHL is different. Like you don't have as good defense in the AHL. Like you can't really just take those numbers and say, oh, he was good in the AHL, he'll be great here. Same thing with like Cooper Black. Like I'd be way more comfortable with Drieger in net than I would this
But
unaccomplished
he was
Cooper
a
Black,
starter
which
in the NHL at one point. He was Seattle's starter
Yeah.
at their expansion, right? So something had to happen to him as
Drieger?
a pro player
Yeah.
to come so far down to then be not doing well even in the AHL. Yet, obviously the defense in front of him is worse, but
Yeah.
there's a reason he wasn't a backup over Spencer Knight. Even though he's the seasoned NHL goaltender, he seems to have
Right.
fallen off.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's Roberto Luongo's decision.
And you know who's good now? Johansson, who we got rid of after he gave up 9 goals.
He's with
to the-
Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
and he shut us out like
he
once,
is
I think, or
the
something
only
last
goalie
time.
who's come through our organization, or at least has played games in the NHL for us over the last 5 or 6 years, who I was like, no, get him out of here.
I was terrified.
Jonas
He was
Johansson
awful.
was the worst goalie I've seen play for us in the last decade, I
Yeah.
think.
What year was that?
Fair.
That was like 2 years ago. It was
Our cup-
not
our-
that long ago.
Our,
He was our third stringer at the time.
I think it was our.
We just
I
kept
think-
giving him a chance. It'd be 5 or 6 goals against every
Yeah,
time.
I
Yeah.
think we brought him. I remember he played in the year we won the President's Trophy. Maybe he played that game against Montreal. It was our last game, and we sat out like the entire first line. And
Poor
he
guy.
gave up 9 goals
Poor
to
guy.
like 1, and it was rough. And then he was never on the team again.
Goalies
There's-
are so weird.
Did
though.
you hear what happened after that game though?
No.
Like it was really bad. So Johansson, he gives up 9 goals, and they keep him in there the whole time. And then he goes out. He was in such a bad space mentally that he goes out. He jumps in front of a bus, and it went through his legs.
This is an old joke. I love that.
I
Yeah.
hate when you do
Come
that.
on, it's a dad
hate
joke.
he,
That's a good
he
one.
had me going.
That's a good one. Yeah. It's funny. I've heard that setup too, and you refreshed it in such a way that I wasn't even aware what joke it was.
See,
so
that's
I
the
can't.
key to comedy, Daniel. You just got to keep it fresh.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
that's what they say. I think
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
All right, so what are we looking at with this game here? I mean, we
Aristotle
got.
said that.
This is kind of like a live watch along. I was trying to get you like the ESPN feed so you could have like a
Yeah,
little score.
that's why we're
bar.
so frantic tonight. It's kind of a live watch along, and
I like it though.
there's a lot going on.
Listen, this is like being in a bar.
He-
It's like
he tossed
you can
the-
try to focus on the game, but you have somebody else who wants to tell you like 7 million things.
it's true. He tossed to the game while we were in a commercial break. It's perfect timing.
Yeah. We're actually watching the game right now. Jack Daniels looks good.
I'll vamp a little bit with Knight though, I guess.
Please.
Yes.
Part of the issue with Knight to me wasn't his play or his timeline. Like the
It was
timeline
him
was
as
a
a
little bit
person?
off. Yeah,
Oh, you
no,
love
he was
him, right?
he's a good dude.
Okay.
I love Spencer Knight. Like he was always very cool in interviews and he just seems down to earth.
Yeah.
But he made too much money. Like when you already have
4.5. Crazy.
4.5
Yeah.
for like I get when we paid him that there was a chance of him being offer sheeted. If someone wants to pay him
Can you get on
4.5, let them pay 4.5. We can't have that much tied up in backup or in goaltending in general. 14.5 in goaltending or almost 15.
Yeah. Restricted. The beneficial thing. Sorry to cut you off.
We could have matched.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the beneficial thing with from Chicago's end is that they get him as a restricted free agent at 25 at the end of this contract. So they're going to be able to probably go lower than that 4.5
No,
unless a miracle happens for his career.
Well, he still has all of next year to show out for Chicago.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I just feel like there couldn't have been anyone who was going to give him that much. Could there? Maybe there was, but even if there was, his contract term ends at the same time as Bob's contract does. So no matter what, we were always paying $4.5 million for a backup goaltender. Stolar's, he gets $2.5 million, and he's playing as well as any goaltender in the league right now.
He ran with us for the cup.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
Stolar's
terrible.
he didn't even play.
Oh!
Yeah, let's go.
There we
Is that
go.
Barkey again? That looked
Big-
like a
That was
Barkey
Benny.
release.
It was
Let's-
Benny.
Big peepee.
I think that was Barkey. Oh my God! 2-goal lead, most dangerous lead in hockey. Huh?
4:44 left.
Barkey again, 2 goals for Barks. Love it.
So Zito is not a guy who I can't say anything bad about him.
Oh, wow.
Because he's
killing it today.
Brought us our
Wow.
only
Yeah.
cup ever. He's changed
We
the
gotta
outlook
give
of
him
the
a chance.
franchise
Did
forever.
you hold on?
Wow.
Did you see what he just did before that puck got to him? Look at him lift
Yeah.
his leg, act like he was gonna let the pass through.
That
Do you
was-
see that?
That
It-
was back to back like
that what
fake
it
fake outs.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse, reverse dummy. You know what a dummy is
The
in
same
soccer,
way- oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
where you act like you're gonna play it and then you let it go through.
sure.
He acted like it was gonna go through and then he played it.
He is playing in like the 4th dimension, to where like he makes the unexpected move.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
So when it comes to the backup though, like I think the way the team is approaching is, we went an entire Stanley Cup run and did not need a backup goalie.
It's true.
Bob did he handle the entire load?
No.
Except for
No.
game
The game
4
we hosted at our
or 5.
place, and that was Stolar.
Of Edmonton.
And it was like
Or of,
6.
Yeah, we gave him one little break, right?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
like
what the
6
hell is
goals.
this? What a mess. Yeah, penalty on us. But yeah, I mean, like, I think they're playing. Basically, he took it as a decision of like, okay, I have a goalie that I know is just a workhorse, Bob, who can go do all the playoff games, or I can like invest in a backup, which we have, and it's been kind of like fruitless, but I guess useful, but not $4.5 million useful.
No.
I mean, he had a chance to trade a piece that probably was not going to see much ice time at all in the Stanley Cup playoffs for somebody who is going to be on the ice for a full, like a half game at a time, like be a very important piece to another playoff run. So I think he literally is just looking at the starting lineup, and he's just like, who is going to be on the ice? Who is going to be an impact player? Seth Jones will have a 10 times impact on a Panthers playoff run than a Spencer Knight.
I think Knight was also.
He just backhanded off his player's head. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. There's a little.
Oh, double minor. Oh, that's tough.
Wait, was the bleed from the shot to his face, or was it from Etsu?
From the high stick?
That's what needs to be checked.
Tentatively waiting.
So what is
Wait, Seth Jones, did he do something wrong? No.
No.
Oh, dude. Lucerainen deserves 4 for that. I'm sorry.
And then here comes the puck.
Just fucking take it in the chops.
Down goes Gensel.
I mean,
then,
honestly, it might have.
have.
Ugh.
Bing. That's so bad. That is so insulting.
He's definitely bleeding from the high stick.
That's his teammate. It's not our fault.
I hate heads on
taking a high stick,
Yeah.
going to the ground, and then taking a shot, a wrist shot right off the noggin.
My favorite is that like his teammate like was waiting. He's like, all right, I'm gonna wait them all out. And then he like looks as he shoots. He's like, oh shit, that sucks.
You gotta lift that puck, baby.
Yeah, we got a couple comments we should probably cycle through, and of course we got to go with the Cats goal from EL. Thanks for the comment.
Thanks, Elf.
All right,
Cats go.
let's see. Hold on, looking at another one.
else we
Thank
got?
you. Jeez.
If you could add one element to the way hockey is shown on TV, what would you change?
This is a
Talked about this.
this is
I
a good
love this
one.
You go first while I try to
conversation.
think about something.
Oh,
Go
I
for
love
it.
this conversation.
What are you thinking?
I don't know what my answer is, but
That's
I love
okay.
this
You don't
question.
you don't need an answer right now. Chris, you got anything? What do you want? Look, we're looking at a screen.
The
right
way
now.
it's shown on TV.
Do you remember in the 90s when they had like it could have been early
Box
2000s?
tracks.
Yeah, they had the puck trailer.
Yeah. You want one of those?
No, I hated that.
Yeah. It looks
But
Nice
I think
job,
it might be
Bob.
good for the casual fan. I'm pretty happy.
Oh my god.
Cooch.
Fuck.
Fuck him.
fuck Cooch.
I'm pretty happy with the general presentation of hockey. But here's the thing: is because so much of it is regional. There's scripts. There is FanDuel, formerly Bally's.
Yeah.
There is Victory. They do at least Dallas, and I think they do the Kings as well.
Nice hit.
There is NBC Sports. Who they cover, I want to say, the Capitals, and then there's NBC Sports
A little bit
West
in
as well.
California. Yeah.
Yeah, out west, like San
Yeah.
Jose. They all have different bugs. They all have different presentations.
But is there anything missing from all of those that you'd just be like?
I hate when a broadcast does not have. ESPN is super guilty of this. TNT does it sometimes, not as bad. I want to see shots on goal
Yes.
all the time.
Me too.
Yes.
There's no reason for that to not be on the screen at all
Yes.
time.
One good thing that ESPN does,
Agreed.
I like the intermission, how they have the countdown clock. Like,
Yeah.
I can look
On
at
the
that and be like,
desk.
oh, can I make it over to
That's
City Acres
true.
to get
On
some
the
beer?
desk.
TNT
Great.
does that as well.
Yeah, like 11 minutes and 22 seconds left.
I would love.
Lakers, sponsor us.
Last year, so it's supposed to be 18 minutes in between periods, right? Theoretically. Last year, I did about 20 games. I had an Excel sheet of how long intermissions actually were.
Mhm.
They're about 18 and a half to 18:40 on average. Some of them up to 19 minutes for like a national
I didn't
game.
realize that they really vary.
They don't start that clock right away.
That's not
sometimes.
like
No, they
hard
don't.
in and
They
out.
don't. No, it's not. It's not.
Oh,
It's
I bet
it's
you
pretty
it's
lax. Like it's more of a guideline. you
EL
know?
says I want them to stop putting betting stats on the screen.
Same here,
I like
and
Girl,
I'm not allowed to bet on hockey, so just
It's because you're an addict.
yes, exactly.
Right, yeah.
But anytime you're about to bring up betting stuff, let me recuse myself. I cannot be a part of those conversations.
enough.
There's
Fair
too
enough.
much of
It's
it.
because you're bad at
I
it.
like the
Yeah,
fact that
I'm pretty
FanDuel
bad.
now owns a network kind of scares me, or they're buying Bally or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
but Bally own like
well, Bally's a casino, I suppose. Yeah.
exactly.
It
They're
just
a
seems
sports
so
book.
specifically like this is a sports only book company that now has a
Yeah.
sports network. Like I wonder
Right.
I wonder how it's going to be presented to us.
You know what? I bet you we're not
Um,
far away from being in a place when you have that FanDuel Sports Network where if you don't have a FanDuel account, you cannot watch
Oh god.
that.
Bet on
that
this game
channel.
and get premium views or
That
something.
feels
I don't
almost
know.
illegal though, because
It
then.
does seem like they might stop.
Well, and
It's
and
like,
that's
please develop a sickness.
if you
Yeah.
But
like
certain like states don't allow it. Then it like so
Yeah,
varies.
all
only
of
legal in
this is
some
illegal
states.
recently.
Yeah.
EL says Chris's girlfriend won't let him bet. Continue.
Okay, my answer
How does
is
she know?
my answer is so niche, but I love the play-by-play. Like I really do love watching on the NHL app and seeing like Rhino hit whatever or shot ejected by.
Right.
I don't know. Like it helps me learn all the players, and I have like a clear and true representation of how they're actually playing in that game instead of just like seeing like 5 on the screen right now, and he might not actually be doing shit. But
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Seeing that is
Yeah.
nice.
I really
More
like a
player
play-by-play.
kind
If
of-
it was just
yeah.
like in the corner, and I mean it's on the NHL app anyway, and I like it's recorded everywhere anyway. Like if it just like popped up, like this just happened.
They sometimes put
So-
who's on ice or time on ice. Sometimes
Yeah.
some of the programs will have.
I don't
current
know.
Line.
I don't know if you guys saw this, and I don't know where it was being broadcast. If I'm being honest, just because I have some access that other people don't. But for the Winter Classic, for example, for like these tentpole events, they have some broadcasts that are like their stat casts, and they tell you
Right.
who's on the ice, and it happens live. Like as someone goes off, so
Do you care to know like who's currently on ice?
I do personally.
really?
Like I like it because, like you said, one, it helps me learn the players, especially from other teams, because there's
Yeah.
over 500, 600 guys in the league. It's a lot to keep track of. Like as much hockey as I consume, it's just way too much, and like growing up, at least for me, it was playing Chell. Like playing video games is how I learned who everyone
Same
was. Who didn't play on my
Kristen
team.
Huselius was really good for me for some reason. Continue.
One day we'll have a show where we just like spend 5 minutes trying to pull out like the most esoteric, like old,
The most
school
obscure Panther we can think
name.
of.
Yeah, exactly. Like this isn't even a good one. Al Montoya.
Al Montoya is good.
and he's
How
a
about
classic.
a little John Sim action? Do you remember John Sim?
Oh, barely, dude.
He was like number 11. He was gritty and like he only played like 27 games for us. I do have one suggestion for the live broadcasts. Can we have a completely separate feed? I love Goldie, love Randy. Can we have a completely separate feed for every game that is uncensored, mic'd up players?
Yes.
Like
Love that.
Dude.
every play, like there's one control room that's like saying, all right, this guy's interesting now, this guy's interesting, but everyone who's on the ice, their mics are active, and then we can hear them curse each other the fuck out and just be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then like maybe fines will go out. I don't know.
I would
It should
pay-
be
I
It
completely
would
just
pay
can't
uncensored.
be
that.
like traditional cable network, I guess, because it would be subject to
Yeah.
censorship, or the network would have to pay for it. But like if they could put up a live stream website,
Yeah,
for
that was like an
everybody
app or
would
something.
watch
I
that.
would pay for that.
I would
Yeah.
100% pay for that.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
You know what I wish they would do is, because I watch a lot of Q sports, billiards and snooker and things like that. They've gotten pretty good. Like the tracking the puck on a replay and stuff like that's cool. Like I want more of that VAR.
Like geometry, like
Because
on
what I would
screen.
love, one thing they do
Yeah.
in pool, which is really awesome, or in snooker rather, which is a game where it's a matter of millimeters whether you can hit the ball you need to hit or not. Otherwise, it's a foul and stuff. And they'll be like, a player will be deliberating over a shot that looks very thin. Maybe he can get it, but maybe he hits the wrong ball. And they'll have like a virtual camera that comes down. Their camera scans the table and the position of all the balls, and then renders a 3D animation showing you shaded what he can't see, and what he can see. So it draws like a cone.
I
from
know what
behind
you're
the
talking
ball.
about, yeah.
I would like this kind of technology. Like imagine a shot gets blocked, 4 guys in the slot. You want to know where it went, and it puts you in this position of the shooter in an animated world and follows the puck kind of going off. Like if they had that granular kind of a positional data of the puck or something, and they could show you its path that it took like that after a shot that missed or after a shot that managed to go through.
Right.
Like they do kind of if you do Chell replays, you can follow the puck as
Yeah.
it bounces and stuff like that. Obviously, Chell, they know where it is, but
They're
if
gonna
they
get-
can figure out that kind of augmented reality technology to give us that shit, it'd be just like watching, video game highlights. It'd be awesome. in
Honestly,
real life.
so the NHL uses AWS for some of those like next gen stats. You'll
Yeah.
see it on the digital boards every once in a while. They don't. I haven't seen them do those stats live, and I don't know how quickly they can get those.
Yeah.
But really, all you need is a top down. You need a
Right.
fixed camera in a certain spot because it's going to be real hard to get ice level. Honestly, like 'cause you got
Right.
you got actual people. Those pucks go fast. It's hard
Right.
to keep up. But you have a camera in a fixed position. You can at least kind of show like the all 12, so to speak, I guess, of what things look like. Because
Right.
sometimes I'll be
Where
like,
they're at.
why did he not shoot that there? Or like it seemed like you had a passing lane to a wide open Reinhardt or whatever.
It'll get rid of our fan ignorance.
Exactly. And because then
You're
you'll
like,
see
look how
a
fat
second
that player
angle
was,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh, there was.
There was a gigantic man in the way that just
Yeah,
looked
it's
small
like,
on
how could I
TV.
not see that?
That's similar to what I love so much about like watching hockey live. I would honestly rather be in the upper deck than being like right on the ice because
Yeah,
I
that
want
as
to see
well.
what's going on. I want to
Yeah.
have a full view. I want to be able to anticipate what's about to happen, or what be it.
They
But
need
watching
some.
that play develop is like is really
Yeah.
cool.
Do they
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
sensors in the puck? Because now they give you shot speed totals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where does that
Puck
come from?
is the puck smart in any way or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have a chip.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. You'll note, and they've had this for a while, but today, literally, I was editing a video about shot speed. I can't say who it was or why, but immediately they have like on some of the broadcasts,
Where they
it
have
would
drugs.
No, immediately it shows you the shot
right, yeah, in the score bug, depending on
Right.
on what the company is, they tell you immediately how fast it went.
That's the thing. If they can get more positional data, like how high it is above the ice,
They-
its speed, it's things like that.
AWS
they could
does that.
draw this VAR rendering with an overhead camera that's showing you, kind of where it hit obstacles. At least it could give you.
You could even fill in the gaps with a little bit of AI generation and like be like, all right, well, we don't have all the angles with cameras, but we could just guess like this is what a player's body looks like.
The positional data from Google Seth Jones. Google fucking Tom Wilson. Fat. So draw a big fat thing. It came off of his left cheeseburger roll.
Sorry, too much
And above the
data.
muffin
We can't
top.
fill that in.
Terabytes and
Yeah,
terabytes
yeah.
of
I don't know where
body
these
data.
What are we
these
made of
videos
terabytes?
live, but I've done AWS videos. It's
Pat
typically the next day on like a
lot of bytes for
crazy
Pat Maroon.
shot, like a tough angle shot or something. But they track things like the goalie's height
Wow.
at time of shot, like
Love it.
versus what their
Love it.
full height is.
Love it.
They have the angle, and they calculate a percentage of how likely this goal is
What
to
an
happen.
incredible job to have.
It's-
That is so cool.
It's wild, and I don't know how much of it is actually, people who just programmed it, and then now the program does its thing automatically.
Almost AI.
A lot of that
Yeah.
stuff is, I think.
A lot of it is,
You must
but
learn it.
I don't know how much of
I
it is.
applied for a job in my past life as a software engineer. Like 7 months ago. I applied for a job at a company that did this kind of software, and I was really excited about it. I was like, I hope I actually get this job because that shit. I love when they come up with stuff like golf. Now you can see where it
This
crested.
is wild.
You can see its exit velocity. You can see all this shit because of a chip in the thing, and then they draw the hole, the entire course, right? And they draw the ball and where it crested and where it came down, wind speed and so forth, and they draw you a path of the shot that happened 2 seconds ago,
They did it with like Top
right after
Golf.
it happened.
How-
Yeah, Top Golf they do it. It's everywhere.
We need this for goalie interference. That's-
We need that.
can AI solve a real problem for once?
We need that, and every hockey game needs to start with a 2-minute description of what constitutes goalie interference or not, so that we can stop the Instagram warriors from going into this. And
I was
deciding that
all right. I think we've done an
single
excellent job of
incidental
answering Swamp Bug's
We're
questions.
having a great
here.
conversation.
I
Just because
know,
you're not
I know.
involved doesn't
I
mean
wanna
it's
know,
not fun.
Are there any comments on?
I wait, hold on. I want to finish this with that is one of the big things that hurts the NHL's viewership is having things so fragmented. And I understand that there are existing contracts that you just can't really do anything about. It is how it is.
Yep.
Baseball's the same way.
Yeah.
There's very few.
Play it out.
Even NBA is the same way to a degree. It's really just NFL who is there is a national broadcast. It's Fox, NBC, and the third one, ABC, ESPN. It's difficult to know where the games are at any given time, and I think that is the biggest difficulty.
It's coming to an end though. Like with these individual teams able to own like the Panthers, for example, owning their own sports network, their regional sports network. That is a direct to consumer product. But I think eventually it's going to be.
But it's still through Scripps, which is
They're using it for production purposes.
that's true. That's true.
But
But I guess they'd already built their facilities.
It's gonna get to a point where the NHL will own all the NHL properties.
I hope
and
so.
all the channels, and it'll be all direct to consumer products. But it's just gonna take like
I mean,
7 years to
hopefully,
get
but
there.
football isn't even there yet, and football is
It's-
ways beyond hockey.
I think technologically yes, but I think also like football is just such a valuable product that the NFL is better suited to have bidding wars for them for like an Amazon Prime that wants like a Friday night, and then like the bidding wars are good for those big games. The NHL I think is different, where you have like a fan bases that are just like committed fans, and you can just sort of like it's 82 games, like you can just like sort of have like a all right, here's a product.
So,
Like,
like,
what
gatefold.
are you a fan of? Like,
Yeah.
click into your portal. Like,
Sure.
here's all the Florida Panthers games. Here's where you watch it. I think we're not far away from that. But yeah, the NFL is like raking it in, but it's really complicated and bifurcated.
I do just want to say,
It is.
as
Bifurcated.
a big Rhino
Great word.
fan, they didn't give Rhino an assist on the first Barky goal.
Oh, that's sad. I
very
think it's time for
My favorite Panther.
There we go.
Maggie Samoskevich.
oh, there's your boy. I think it's time, Daniel,
Oh, as
for-
soon as I get my highlight. Okay.
I'm that was your highlight? You can do better.
It's time
For-
for Rhino Report.
Rhino Report. All right, Court, what happened with Rhino?
Nothing.
Perfect setup.
They
We're
took
back.
away his assist.
They took away his assist right on time.
I really thought he was going to get an assist there. It looked like it. He passed to Barky. I don't know if there's like a time limit for how long they have to have the puck to be considered an assist.
No, they touch it. Yeah.
He did. He passed it to Barky, and then Barky put it in net. So in my heart, Rhino got an assist, at least one already today, and I do expect him to get a goal.
His plus minus went up. That's
And-
good.
Minus one up. Yeah.
Hey, that was even strength, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on the ice, right?
Okay.
And that has been tonight's Rhino Report.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck. Cool, man.
Good riddance.
I
Okay,
was
Battle
giving
of Florida
no
live
notice
reaction.
that we were doing that.
I got to tell you, the trips look pretty cool, eh? Like this is like a nice looking screen.
Yeah. It reminds me of some other things, but
Maybe we just
What does it remind you of?
just other shows that we do.
Oh yeah.
We're an entire podcast network of shows, just so you
Mhm,
guys
mhm,
know. But
How I'll let Daniel come back and answer his give his answer after. How do you feel about Chucky being on LTIR?
Yeah. This is I mean, I think this opens us up to so many possibilities. Like 8.7 million. I think it's very clear what Bill Zito has done by saying, hey, we hope he's back for the playoffs. This guy's going to be healthy 2 weeks before the playoffs. We're going to hold him off because we want to use that cap space to get somebody big and get a forward with a little bit of like you mentioned, like a little Tarasenko. Give me like a $5 million guy. The trips look pretty good. No rush. No, but like somebody with a
I'm sorry?
scorer's
What did you
finish.
say?
I'm sorry,
you
I'm
say
back.
Achari?
Supervisor Dan.
Sorry.
oh, I thought you
said
said Nola Chari. I was like, I don't think we need him at this point.
Yeah, Nola Chari.
I mean, for a
finisher's
fourth
touch.
line center, I wouldn't be that upset.
Dejanov.
Chris, who do you like for a scorer that we could add with now like 8 million. Like people
Score.
saying Brady Tkachuk. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, our chat is it's Panthers fanfic, and it's a lot of fun. But someone brought up Brock Besser today. Besser.
Oh yeah.
Someone
We
in
have
the
a
comments
comment.
did even.
We have a comment from earlier, and it's not retrievable now. But Damian Guzman said that he would love Brock Besser to be one of our players.
He's a perfect. He's a right winger, right?
Yeah.
The Canucks have withdrawn their contract offer to
Got him
him,
for
their
you guys.
extension. So it
Really?
sounds like they're not getting anything done. They could keep him as an own rental this year, but with Demko hurt, with the way Pettersson's been playing, Vancouver just is a little bit out of sorts right now. And if they can't agree to terms with Besser, I think that he is a perfect rental type. I don't know what we would have to give up to get him, but his plus minus not amazing. I don't watch enough of him to know what situations he's in, but he puts up points, and we need a guy like that. We need an extra winger. Really, we need a left winger, I would say, but.
Huberto.
Yeah, I wrote a 3-team trade so we can get 75% retained.
I enjoy watching him. We were watching him last night.
Huby?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Huberto jersey. You can
No, I
see
got
the
you. I got
11.
you.
The 11
Oh, you
before
got
the
me.
11.
Yeah.
So it's complicated shit ever. I love it.
Yeah.
And we also got some stats on Brock Besser. I mean, if you were ever to make a move for a guy like him, like you can see this being his most recent year, 53 games played, 36 points. He is pretty heavily underperforming what he put up last year. He put up 40 goals in 81 games. So definitely outpacing or underpacing that. So this is what Bill Zito does. This is what our franchise has done a lot lately is, Brock Besser. I mean, he's nearly a point per game. He's like 0.8 points per game player over his career.
He's like a Verhage on the right side, honestly.
28 years old? Come on. Like, that's a good age. That's a good time to buy in. I could totally see something like that coming
Well,
together.
he's expiring, so that's a guy who I assume he would be a rental, because otherwise that means we're losing one of Benny or Ekblad or whoever. We still have to tender Mackey and Justin Sordiff, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think Mackey's going to make too much, but he's going to get at least 3. So your take,
3.
I would maybe 2.5.
I
I don't know.
think
He gave 4.5 to Spencer Knight, so I don't know. And Mackey just hit 10 goals as a rookie. That's not terrible. And he's
sort of a sophomore, though, isn't he?
This is technically his rookie season.
Flip.
Technically,
Yeah.
He's a little bit older. He's 22,
He had him a couple games last
23.
year.
He played a few times. But they didn't burn his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he passes the eye test for me, and he's got speed that we really need. Like, we're running out of fast guys. It kind of feels like Lomberg's gone. He was a lot of speed. Verhage's still very fast, but he's had a down year. Seth Jones obviously brings a little bit of speed to our team, but outside of that, we don't really have burners anymore. Remember when we had Mason Marchment? Like a guy who's just lightning fast.
Looks like he wants to get injured.
Really,
Yeah,
really
like banging into the glass constantly.
And Mackey has that same type of high end speed. I think.
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic skater, and I think he's learning the Pomo system and how to have a more well-rounded game and be a two-way player. And Mackey played center in the past, not for us, but I think he plays wing for us. But he's capable of being a center. I don't know what his face-off stats are in the NHL, but he's a guy who I do not want to give up on. I do not want to trade.
Oh,
Mackey.
never.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
He had
have
a
we
great
seen
game on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean,
Scored a
have
goal
we
at the
seen a contract, like a big contract, come through since the cap it was announced that it's expected to be raised as much as it's going to be raised. Like, I feel like we're sort of in this brave new world where we don't really know the value of things because of how inflated it's going to be over the next 3 years. And like, maybe he's worth 4. Maybe he's worth 4.5. Now that we're like, I don't think we've had a lot of. Sorry?
Now that we're doling out money.
Yeah, but also like
Now that the cap is
the
higher.
league itself, like has the league
Right.
even had as many transactions so we can have an accurate market? Like, we're in a really weird space with the NHL and contracts that I wonder if like we're gonna see like a dam open up pretty soon. And
I wanna wrap up Benny. Like, I wanna see what Benny gets and what we decide to do with him, because that's going to affect the entirety of the team.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel like. I mean, it was crazy last year who we were waiting on to, and like Rhino waiting till like the literal last second.
Yeah.
But I think the Benny deal is going to affect everything else.
He wants to be here. He wants to be here.
Then why isn't he getting it done?
So that bothers me too, but I would say I'm not going to worry about the contracts not being done until after Friday, until after the trade deadline is done. I think because then we know who we might have to re-sign in the future. Like, we could have signed Benny beforehand, and maybe we could have signed Betty and Ekblad, and all of a sudden we can't afford Seth Jones or something like that moving forward. I think we wanted to have the flexibility at the trade deadline.
Right.
And depending on what happens in the next 2.5, 3 days, if after that Benny and Ekblad aren't locked up before the playoffs start, then I will start to be concerned.
Well, maybe that's also like a little bit of a litmus test of like where we are with those negotiations. Like, if we're not if we're not like shopping Bennett, we're not hearing his name like on those forums for rumors, like maybe there's actually progress being made between the Panthers and his agent, and they're like, no, we're okay. Like, we'll hang on to him because we think we'll get something done. But yeah, I think it's I would be okay. Like, Bennett is so valuable to me, and I would be okay with holding on to him and losing him for nothing just to have him for one more playoff run.
I think Zito sees it the same way. Yeah. Honestly, just judging by the moves he's made, like trading Bennett away, the only way you could do that this year is if you are getting an equivalent player, and I just
lock him up.
I don't see it happening. And look, in 5 years, it's going to be ugly. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe that until really the last month or so. I thought that we had enough capital and enough young talent that if we did it right, we could extend our window a little bit. But it's the next 3 years. Really the next 2 while Bob's this one and next season.
Are you talking about our window?
Our real window. Like, anything can happen after that.
Right.
And we're gonna continue to be competitive. Don't get it twisted. We've got at least, I'd say, 5 or 6 more years of probably being a playoff team.
I would say a contender.
I would say 3 years as a contender, and a couple more after that as a pretty good team who maybe, if we make the right moves, we can compete. But like, I mean, you look at what the Red Wings have been for the last 10 or 15 years. Sorry, Alexi. But, I mean, that's the cost of cups. You look at what Pittsburgh's going through it now, and they're a slow decline. But they had, 3 cups with that core over 10 years. What they did was more impressive than what a lot of teams do. To make it last that long.
Boston had like one in that core, and then they hung around through playoff and playoff. They're still hanging around, but
I think if anybody would be as like cutthroat after a good like cup window, it would be Zito. We have a really insightful comment here from Swampbug. He says, "Best Z thing, is it Zito, ZD, or Zebras? Discuss." He ended that with a period as if it were a command.
Yes,
I would say based on these 3 options, I'm one of the biggest ZD fans you'll find, but I think Zito actually has what it takes to get rid of like a Verhaeghe or get rid of God forbid, like a Barkov, you know,
Yeah.
like he will be cutthroat
Yeah.
once he realizes like, oh, we are going to be in decline. Whereas Pittsburgh has this sort of loyalty to these guys
Like,
that they want to stick to.
I mean, he traded Huberdeau after he set the all-time NHL record for assists for a left
Brilliant.
winger.
For a
Like,
left
the
winger,
day
yeah.
after
Brilliant.
that season, the day, you know, it was, sorry, welcome Matthew Tkachuk to the team. Okay, so to answer Alexi's question, Zito if we're talking Bill, ZD if we're talking Bake.
Zebras, if we're talking.
Zebras if we're talking not the referees and instead the zoo animal.
Good.
They
scored.
Lightning
Fuck.
Way.
Braden Point.
Take
a shot.
Point always
Wait,
does
so-
this crap.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's the fact that Seth Jones is the guy that we made a big trade for. Tell you that maybe Ekblad is not one of the guys of the two that we're going to protect. Like maybe we'll go for Benny and Ekblad stops being a Panther.
It shocked me that you said that he's like older than Ekblad.
Yeah, he is older than
which
Ekblad.
is crazy.
Yeah, I mean Ekblad's body definitely older.
Yeah.
but
Ekblad's body, yeah. Ekblad's body has been through more.
I would rather, like, in a perfect world, Ekblad is willing to re-sign for approximately what he makes now. Maybe even slightly, like, maybe he takes a Forsling size contract.
Oh.
If we can get that,
Dangerous.
Sorry.
then we're in a great spot. The thing is, yeah, what does it mean for Ekblad? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we let Ekblad walk this offseason,
Oh, man.
it must be because he was asking for way too much. But then we find ourselves in the same position that we were in at this trade deadline. Oh, we need a right-handed
We need a
defenseman.
yeah.
Like, okay, well, Ekblad has proven that he is a number one RHD. He's not the best in the league.
No, but he also doesn't like, you know, overdo it. Like he understands his limits, which I don't think he did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think
Exactly. He's got
He's adopted his role.
great hockey IQ. He makes big plays, and he's a part of this team's culture. You know, like I guess so was Huberdeau once upon a time, but Ekblad, you know, he was our first overall. He's been with this team for over a decade. Like he was.
See, you don't have what it takes to cut.
No, you're
that's the thing.
Look, because we took him first overall.
No, but not even that. Like that's part of it. Absolutely.
Would you have traded Jovo?
Yeah, because Jovo was disappointing for us, but I'm glad he's back with the organization. Maybe Ekblad will be our intermission guy.
Yeah, hold on.
In
I want to
10
circle,
years.
just so it's announced, I want to circle back to the discussion of who will be the intermission commentator that is currently on our roster. But anyway, before we get to that, continue.
That's a good question.
It's a great topic, but please.
No, it really depends on his asking price, because like that could be his market. There could be a team willing to give him $8-9 million with term. You know, now that the cap is going up a little bit. But I think it's in our bet, unless we have an RHD who we've already identified. He's not in our system. I can tell you that. There is no one in our organization who's gonna pop up and just be our top guy, or even a second pairing RHD who's not already on the active roster. We either have to keep him or replace him with someone
Somebody good,
equivalent.
Yeah.
And they're not that hard, they're not that easy to find.
Yeah.
I want to just, if you're just joining us, and hard to believe if anybody who has been here from the beginning is still here, but we love
90
you.
minutes later.
We love you all the more.
I know, right?
I just want to play a clip from our debut episode. This is several weeks ago when Chris actually called out that we would be going after a Seth Jones. So I'm playing that clip in 3, 2, 1.
Some people we could target defensively. This is gonna sound
Thank God I got the
ridiculous
glasses. Look at my
because
big
a
dumb
lot of
face
people
in
had
that
mocked
video.
him to us back
Oh,
in
I'm still
2013, 14, 12. Seth Jones, I think that he gets paid a lot. I think his contract is 9.5 through 2026. But I think Chicago has a retention spot. They could retain some salary. I mean, they just helped with that massive Natchez and Rantanen trade. Maybe they want some more late round picks. He could be a second pairing defenseman. He can QE the power play. I don't know. Could be worth it.
Here's my out.
Wow, excellent out cue. Look at that work from our director, Dan, supervisor Dan. You can follow him on X and a bunch of other platforms.
Nope. On
OnlyFans?
Instagram and Twitch.
Oh,
Instagram and Twitch. Supervisor
Instagram,
Dan.
Twitch, and OnlyFans. You can follow Supervisor Dan.
But
Yeah, I got the
for
return
pulling
wrong
that
there.
out,
It's the only place the aviators come off. So anyway,
wild.
what were we thinking as far as on this team? Hold on, like just a little level setting here. We are on the PK. 15 minutes left in the third. A couple chances going the Lightning way. What are you guys thinking about this game so far? And just sort of like how it's playing out. Barkov obviously is on one tonight.
I'm disappointed that they got one in. That was.
Ooh,
Is
good
open.
chance here for the Lightning.
No.
How did that stay out?
There's no way. That had to be a goal.
Yes. I
Bob
love-
made the save?
It's not it. We definitely.
Always makes
There was an
the
initial
save.
save. Yeah, and then there was a block. Yeah, because there was
Did it go out of
bodies
play?
in front. Look at this. Boom. The puck must have gone behind him.
Oh.
Not in. Hey, who was that? That was.
E-Rod.
Was that Jones?
I thought it was Luosterainen.
Bar
That
down,
might be.
butt out.
Oh,
Oh, it's
first name?
Lusty.
Lusty. Look at that. Look at
Good
him
job,
holding
mouthwash.
that.
Oh, Bobby.
Round of applause for Luosterainen.
Yeah.
Saving.
Lusty, Bob.
We
Oh,
found
that's
our backup goalie,
work.
everyone.
Reminiscent of the Cooley save.
Literally.
From
Literally.
Game 7.
Game 7. Yeah.
That was for Rose and Michelle. Bobby did that for you.
Bless up.
think we found our backup goalie. He's looking pretty sharp. Right now.
Lusty the goalie.
God.
Overall, I'd say this. I mean, we look like we are in playoff hockey mode,
Yeah.
and we've been there for a minute. We play close games unless it's against like really bad teams, like that Nashville game last week. For the most part, even bad teams, we kind of let them hang around. That's how we lose some of these.
Yeah. Totally.
I like the way that this game has shaken out. This is exactly how we're going to be playing in 6-7 weeks from now.
Yep. Physical. We're like throwing a lot of the
We pick
hits.
our battles too, though. We bend, don't break. Like you can't be balls to the wall for 60 minutes because then you'll fail and give up. So we definitely sag a little, but it's compensated for. Let's just not push too hard. Let's know we're gonna play a defensive game, but.
Yeah, we usually don't open too hard, and I really like that about the Panthers. Like, in terms of like other teams, like I feel like Tampa really did come out hard in the beginning, and didn't.
And we
bank
just
on
weathered the
anything,
storm.
Yeah,
And-
and then
yeah.
they peter out, and then we're there.
and we can persevere through it.
The one thing I like about us starting hot at the beginning of a game is we play so much better when we score first.
Oh, for sure.
Like our win percentage is just so much different when we can get a lead and kind of sit back and play defense. It's funny because like I used to rag on the Islanders for
I
the
knew you were gonna
longest
say that.
time
I knew you were gonna say that.
because they played like such a boring brand of hockey. I think we do the same thing with a little bit more flair. I think we're a little bit more interesting, but obviously I have a bias.
I would say for sure we're more interesting than watching the Islanders.
Yeah.
I love watching us play the Islanders.
I didn't in 2016.
Oh my
or
god.
20. There was another year.
2020.
2020 was that the bubble year?
The bubble year, yeah, the
Yeah.
qualifier.
Yeah, there were a couple times where the Islanders
like-
took our lunch money.
That like pity playoff inclusion that we had.
Trocheck
in
was
the
God,
pandemic.
Oh yeah, that was I kind of hate including that in our current playoff streak.
Yeah,
like
I know.
this makes it 6 years, I want to say, but really it's 5.
I
or
saw a
whatever.
stat the other day that like really blew my mind and like it like made me actually reflect on like being a Panthers fan for this long, and it was the Panthers have the most playoff wins of any team since 2020, 2021.
Yep.
And it's like how far we've come where we didn't have a playoff win from 1996 to 2020.
Yeah.
And how big of a gap that was, or like playoff series win.
No,
But,
series win wasn't until 2022.
Yeah. And sorry I misspoke, but we did have some playoff wins in 2015-16. and 11, 12 as
Individual
well.
game wins.
Individual games, but like series, no. But like that's insane that like since 2020, 2021, no other team has won as many as we have, and it's just such a new era.
Over the last couple days, I've kind of come to terms with like this is our window, and it's not going to be an extended. It already is extended though. Like
Yeah, we've
assuming
been at it
we
for a
make
while.
it for the next 3 years, that's like
That's
8 or
amazing.
9 years.
That's
Can you?
amazing.
That's wild.
I think we're gonna be the
That's
best hockey
legendary,
team to ever
yeah.
exist.
We will never be bad.
I'm not convinced.
I
A
don't-
1,000-year reign.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But like I'm
Good call,
gonna be
good
so
call, Mr.
sad
World War II.
when those times come back. But like, at least we'll have something to show for it this
Right.
time. Last
Well, it'll
time
be
we
a
had the
cycle.
Stanley Cup loss, and
It'll
then
be a
we
cycle.
were just the laughing stock of the league for
Yeah,
25
25
years.
Yeah, I mean it was just not a full commitment from the ownership. It was just get butts and seats, however by any
Thanks,
means
Wayne.
possible.
Don't put a good product.
Yep, wouldn't build an actual
A
team.
1,000-year hunt.
Okay, here we go. We got a 2-on-1
Time to hunt.
developing. Let's go.
Ooh!
Oh!
That was a good
That's a little
decision.
That was a pass off pad.
It was
Ah.
a little too far.
Thought we had a
It
chance
was a
there.
little too far down.
I feel
Yep.
like Boquist, he's not a one-timer guy though. He's like a skate in, do something fancy, miss, and then like get a rebound. Kinda
Right.
guy.
Yeah, he was on fire at the beginning of the season.
He's
Where is he?
Who?
Boquist.
Oh, Boca.
Jesper.
Jesper?
Yes.
Jesper.
Did he like lose his
Mojo.
yeah, with his brother?
Ever since his brother, you're right.
You know what's
Ever
funny?
since his brother got
Where
traded, he
is
slowed
he?
down. That's a great point.
I want to. He's with the Islanders. His brother is.
No, I know that.
Oh, okay. No, we're-
Like,
but-
where is he?
Jesper
on
is working for the Islanders.
yeah,
covertly.
Jesper's. You know, he is who we think he,
He was
is.
on fire at the beginning
He,
of the season.
I think he's already set.
It was a
point-
relative fire.
point totals records for himself.
It's a relative.
But
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that
one alarm
I'm pretty sure
versus
Seth Jones originally, when he
Palisades.
was traded from Columbus to Chicago, I want to say that Adam Boquist was involved in that trade. I want to say that his brother was part of that. So
like
that's such a
externally,
I don't
or
remember.
like literally part of the
literally, I believe.
Yeah, literally.
trade? Not like in his ear.
No. Like he literally was
Okay.
You gotta
traded
fucking move this guy.
in the Seth Jones trade.
Yeah, isn't the Boquist? Aren't they like the perfect little sweeteners that you can throw into a trade? Just like a little. Yeah, here I'll give you a little Jesper
Yeah.
Boquist.
That was like
I would give up Jesper for like a Brock Besser, something like that.
that's like
I think it's not completely what we want because I want
no,
depth.
but I would give up. Yeah.
But if that's the
Jesper.
asking price and we think we have another winger, like if we think Sardiff can play in the playoffs, I'm okay with it.
Is it sourdough?
Sordiff? It's
Sordiff.
Sordiff.
It's sort of.
See, that's
It's
what this-
Sordiff, but I just I read it and I say Sourdiff.
I think you sort of screwed it up.
That's
Ooh.
what the,
Oh,
Weird.
uh,
That's like the
Talk to me.
fourth stick that's
Thank you.
broke today.
that's what
Broken.
the Stahl brothers were for a while. They were the
Good, Bobby.
trade sweeteners.
That. Speaking of the Stahl brothers, sometimes I look at the roster and I'm like,
We
I
could
don't-
use Eric Stahl.
Jordan maybe.
I gotta know.
Mark.
What do you think?
I think, holy crap, we made a Stanley Cup Finals with
Yeah.
Mark and Eric Stahl. Like
Yeah.
maybe we're not in the worst position with Cooley and Balinskis or
Yeah.
Schmidt being our
Mark Stahl,
Our third
hippie
pairing.
Jesus.
Everyone's like, "Oh my God, they lost so much on defense. Like we lost.
Still
Like
really
Montour
well
is
See, and
talented."
that's
Oh,
going back to my
It's Montour.
point
That's
about
it.
Spencer Knight making 4.5, and I don't know what negotiations were like, but that's part of the reason we couldn't re-sign Montour. Like we had to give up Knight and a first instead of just re-signing Montour, who is a 30-year-old right-handed defenseman with speed, just like Seth Jones is. Maybe the draft pedigree isn't there. Maybe they really. I don't know what it was like behind the
Meg
scenes.
was on a little bit of a high
Didn't Spence
too.
get his contract like right after like a 7-game win streak or something? Like when he first
Yeah.
started playing with us, he seemed
Yes.
like so hot in the future, and that was the high he was riding. And at 20, he got that contract.
He got it. I'm pretty sure
Sorry, Mikola just ate it.
he got it right after we lost to the Knights, I want to say, because he's halfway
Oh,
through the
okay, never mind.
contract and he didn't play the first
He
year of
got
the
another one.
contract. He was in
And,
in Charlotte.
Yeah. Oh, in Charlotte. And then we signed him. Then he went to players' assistants for a year, and then he came back and was mostly checkers last year.
So
I
if
didn't
you
realize that he suited up for the Stanley Cup.
So
I
did
still
so
cannot
did
believe
Magnus
that's so
Hellberg.
low.
You know, like I mean they were on the suited up. No,
Yeah, they
like,
were
he was on
healthy
the
scratched.
on the roster.
Yeah, it's like when kindergartners graduate and they get to wear a suit. It's kind of like that. You know, they get to dress up, but it's not.
But it's
really
a fucking joke. It's kindergarten.
Yeah.
They look ridiculous.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stupid idiots.
Come on.
They
Hey,
never
you need to tie
been
that
to
shit
work.
yourself.
I bet that shit's a clip-on. I
Yeah.
bet it's a clip-on.
Do you even know what a spreadsheet is?
Yeah. Come
Give
on.
me those TPS reports, but
PC load letter.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
I said pen. This is crayon.
Can I get your Hancock on this in crayon, please?
Oh, you used mahogany. You know you were supposed to only use
Come
forest
on.
green.
Are we gonna finish up the game on here?
I think
I think
so.
we might as
We
well
have
at this
some-
point. Also,
The only thing
oh,
we-
we got some comments because I was
Yeah.
the last thing I wanted to say. I'm sure. It's
Do we have
not.
X coming through?
We
But
got
Knight-
Tkachuk to talk about. Yeah, we should have actually.
With the Knight trade? Yeah, it probably does not matter for the playoffs. Bob is gonna play
Oops.
all 20,
Hey, we
20
got-
something games.
Hold on, we got a little
No,
Adam
no,
Shapiro.
no,
comment.
Adam Shapiro's
no,
in?
we don't. No, we
No,
don't.
we don't. No, we don't.
No, we don't. I wrote that.
He's
Adam
gonna
Shapiro.
play all those
Nice one.
games.
Go delete
But
that.
Hurt, or what if he has another child?
That's hilarious.
Don't we?
I
No,
know
we
there's
don't.
unexpected things, and we need to have a solid.
if he has a kid, he
backup.
better be playing. I'm sorry, it's the playoffs. But if he gets hurt, yeah, we do need a solid back. I mean, think about the Leafs. Was it last year or the year before? Woll got hurt, and that was kind of the end for them. You know, like, and Bob is a guy who can stand on his head on any given night. He can also look completely out of his element any given night, but he is proven. He's got his Vezinas. He's got a Stanley Cup. He is a certified Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
He should be starting every game, but shit happens.
Right.
And Chris Drieger can fill in for a little bit, but I don't see us.
He's not a solid go-to.
We're not going to be
Two on
Connor
one, two on one,
McDavid
two on
and
one,
Leon
two on one,
Draisaitl.
2 on 1.
That should have been a pass.
Yep,
that
it
one
should've
should have been a pass.
It should have been.
But
Yep.
Swaggy doesn't have a shot right now. All season he doesn't have a shot.
Yep. Save it for playoffs.
So I do think that if we could explore a backup goaltender, but who knows? Maybe Drieger. I want to see Drieger play ASAP. Next, I think we only have one more Western Conference game actually. But like next time we're playing a Metropolitan game or something like that, put him in. I want to see how he plays.
He needs to get used to game speed.
Because he looked great in our
the
system
NHL.
3.5, 4 years ago, whenever it was.
Not bad at all.
And maybe he will again. And a lot of people have brought up online Cooper Black. That's his name.
Yeah.
And he's another guy who, like, I get it. You know, you look at his stats and you're like, he's probably let's just bring him up. But in the preseason, he played 2 games for us this year. He saw a total of 16 shots and let in 4 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So a 750 save percentage, not great.
No.
Not even good.
He's been if you look at his stats in the ECHL for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, really bad. That's ECHL. It's a hard comparison.
Yeah.
AHL, his numbers are amazing, but he's also played the fewest games out of the 3 goalies, now 2 goalies down there. He's just not fully baked. I totally believe in him. He's 6'8". He's a monster
That's
huge.
between the pipes, but we can't rely on him to start a Stanley Cup playoff game for us at this point. Like, he's never even played a game in the big leagues. So I don't see him as a guy who plays this year, maybe next year.
I got Cooper Black's stats if we wanted to show. He's only played 7 games for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, as 4 wins, 3 goals allowed. And you said he spent a lot of time with the Checkers, was it?
Yeah, I think he's played 11 games, I want to say, for the Checkers, somewhere around there. Maybe more by now that Drieger's been called up. I can't say that I follow the Checkers and the Ghost Pirates quite like that.
Yeah, I can
I'm
pull
a
up.
Jacksonville Iceman fan, so
I can pull up a little bit of stats here, but yeah, I mean, I think there's positions where you want a goalie with I don't know, who can get on a hot streak and maybe be like a Cooper Black, who it's like, oh sweet, like this guy just went on a run. And then there's other times where you want experience, and I think with a playoff run and somebody like Chris Drieger is that guy to actually give you a little bit of stability, and you're not teaching them the basics of what it means to be an NHLer. Like, I feel like going with a younger guy who could be great maybe next year, I feel like that's a bit of a distraction this late into the season, and that you really just need to make sure that the guy that has the experience of being on an NHL roster is just ready to go in your crease.
Also, quick shout out to Bob. Not that he really needs it, but when we signed when we signed him to this contract, everyone was like, dude, he's already old. What do you think Bob is going to look like in those last couple years of his contract? Well, guess what? It's his second to last year of his contract, right? He's 36. He'll be 37 next year. He just won a Stanley Cup in the 5th year of his contract. He went to the Stanley Cup in the 4th year. Yeah, he looked pretty bad those first 3. But guess what? The team learned how to play around him, and we don't win the cup without Bob. No doubt about it.
What do we re-sign him for?
Bob, at the end of next year, I think that he wants to keep playing, and I think that he will re-sign with us. I would not, if he thinks he still has it. What a
that's Lucy, a throwback to December.
Yeah.
Oh
wow. Like showing a compilation of how he's been defending our crease as the backup goalie.
Yeah. Bob's been incredible. I think that he would probably sign to be our backup if that's where he is in his career at that point. What does Marc-Andre Fleury make?
I don't know.
I got to imagine he's going to be a 3.
More than 4.5?
No, I think he would be cheaper than that personally.
Marc-Andre Fleury?
If we re-sign
Bob at the end of next year.
Oh.
Marc-Andre Fleury makes 2.5. I think that Bob would.
That low?
It'll be more because of the salary cap. I think Bob would sign for 3 to 4. I think
Instead of moving, if he
as a back, if he's being a backup.
Right.
It's like man though, like he's 37.
For like 2 to 3 years.
He's 37 when his contract expires.
Yeah.
I mean, I could maybe see him hanging around for 2 years as as a supportive, supportive, like a coach player.
It could be a contract like what we gave Kulikov.
Right.
Kulikov, we signed him to a 4-year contract. He's not gonna play 3 more years for us. Come on.
Bob is the Roy Kent of our.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, a little trouble here. Nope. Okay.
Yeah,
good. Solid goal. Solid
Thank
zone
you,
entry
Taylor,
from the
for
Lightning.
that interruption.
Baited us. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's the one problem with
let's
our
get into the game
Let's
here.
finish this
style
and
of
watch the
hockey.
show.
Sometimes
Watch the game.
No.
it lets teams hang around.
Mm-hmm.
See, look, my stat is
games decided by 1 goal. The Panthers are 11-3-3. That ranks 5th best in the league. That's a stat that I was gonna say Bally Sports. That Scripps Panthers television put on.
Well, I mean, but think about that though. 17 of our games out of we've played 63, 64, somewhere around there.
Have been decided by 1.
Yeah, that's almost a quarter of our games are decided by 1 goal. That's just it's kind of how we play, but it's also sometimes it's how we win, sometimes it's how we lose against
More
inferior
often
competition.
Win, I guess. Yeah. In dramatic fashion against an also ran hockey club.
Yeah.
Who is that?
7?
Oh.
That's Kulikov.
It looks like a 0.
Oh, 0.
Got about 6 minutes left. I mean, I'm surprised there hasn't been more like violence in this game, especially with the hit on Tkachuk.
Really want a rhino something here.
I want a Barky Hattie.
I do want a Barky
When's
Hattie.
the last time that even happened?
Everybody wants a Barky Hattie now.
Mm-hmm.
The last time that happened was versus the Montreal Canadiens, December 29th, 2023.
Is that when we scored 9?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
He got it in the first period, I think, and I was
That
in,
was
and I
so.
was
Wait,
in
are
the
you
crowd.
kidding? That was so impressive.
That's incredibly impressive.
I was at that game. That's why I remember. I think it was 2023. Yeah.
Were you chanting "We want 10"?
Yes.
Of course you were.
And I was saying, tabarnak, colis, les chats. I was pulling out every French word I knew to all of the because it's the Snowbird game, December 29th.
It's true. It's true.
The fucking
God,
Quebecer,
I hate when they come to
It's
town.
the Quebec Snowbird team, so I figured I'd pull out all the chats. Allez les chats, merde, tabarnak. Speaking all my Quebecois that I know, and
It's good.
and finally I was like.
Did you not?
Our
tip
captain got a hat trick in the first 20 minutes of the fucking game. Is that not impressive or what, you fucking bums? Go eat some poutine.
Oh!
Buy your own tickets.
Yeah, but can you
Did
say
you
that in
not
French?
pay your?
No,
did you
I
not
can't
tip
do
your
that.
waitress
Not
as
buy
well,
your own
just to like
tickets.
fully imitate them?
I had
Quebecois
some,
are,
I had some nasty
special breed.
poutine and
See, I love this. Like late in the game, we're
I lost all my teeth.
I like when we
Oh,
get gritty at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, we always have an extra gear at the end of games, which
Love
is obviously on purpose, but
I miss Nick Cousins.
I don't.
I miss
Nick Cousins was like a maniac. I actually enjoyed.
So scrappy. He's so fun
Yeah.
to watch.
I miss Gudis.
I miss Gudis. I miss Gudis.
And you
I
guys
think
are
Nick
wearing,
Cousins.
like, Luongo and Huberto jerseys as well. This is like an in memoriam episode.
Yeah,
Remembering
yeah,
Spencer Knight.
That's true.
That's too funny.
I have some personal issues with Cousins. He's been accused of some things I don't like, and also I think he's a shitbird.
What has he
He
been
great when he's on
accused
your
of?
team, but what's up?
What's he been accused of?
Sexual
Bad?
assault.
He has.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate to hear that.
Like when he was in juniors or something like that. But I mean, he hurt our reputation more than he helped our team.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't like a guy like Tkachuk or Bennett. Like I think Tkachuk he's a rat, but he's not a dirty player.
He's not a
I
bad
think
guy either.
I think Bennett is slightly dirty, and slightly not that guy. Bennett is like right at that level. Cousins, for a fourth liner, I like what AJ Greer does a lot more than what Cousins does. Like AJ Greer
Greer's been a
seems
great ad.
to be super cerebral, but he just doesn't quite have the talent to be, a second or a middle six guy. But he knows how to play the game. He's a great locker room presence, gives amazing interviews, and he's got some
Oh, he does
offensive
give
upside.
amazing
I
interviews.
think I would have to check the stats, but I think he's been better offensively than someone like Lomberg was. Like Lomberg, yeah, he had all those sexy breakaways because he had that speed, but how often did he bury them?
Right.
Not too often.
often.
It seems like the fourth line has
How
had,
often did he take penalties?
Only in the Tampa series.
well,
really,
sometimes
dramatically.
Lomberg's job was to take penalties, and Greer's the same way.
He was my favorite player for a while, Lomberg, because he would play the same kind of game no matter the situation.
Lomberg,
like
I
He's
don't.
a maniac.
balls
I
to
loved him.
walls.
Lomberg
Yeah.
is a top 5 like fan favorite type.
100%.
Panther.
Yeah, he is a fan favorite.
No,
player.
no doubt. But
I like Greer. Well, Nick Cousins will be forever be immortalized as beating the Toronto Maple Leafs for us.
thanks to
Thanks to
Gudis.
The guy who we really miss.
Toronto fans are just in shambles still.
Oh my goodness,
They're
yeah.
still
Tev.
struggling.
Shout out Tev.
They tell me that I made the call. They're like, just so you know, I still think that was an interference penalty. And I'm like,
It was.
Yeah,
It
okay.
100% was.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. He was holding the stick. But guess
Yeah.
what? We probably still. That was only game 6, first of all.
That was game
Yeah.
5.
Oh, it was game 5. Oh,
Game
that's
five.
right. It was
We
game
won
5.
4-1.
How many penalties
That's right.
don't get
Yeah.
called in a playoff series?
Yeah,
like
it's-
that too.
That's
like,
that's why you only hear about it a little bit. It's because if it was a game 6, it would be the
Yeah, it's
the end of
like
the world.
You
guys,
weren't winning that series. You're
we-
Toronto.
we dominated
Okay.
you the whole
You
time,
can't win
and
a
like
series if if $40 million of your team doesn't score a single goal in the playoffs.
it's true. And we still could have beat you in that game.
Big
alone.
chance here.
Yeah,
Power
that's
play
true.
for the Panthers. 4 minutes
What
left.
happened?
Speaking of the
Yeah.
Leafs
Yeah.
and of course the Lightning, these games, I think we have a couple more against each team,
Yeah.
are so important right
Yeah,
now
big
because
regulation win here is great.
regulation wins especially. I do
Yeah,
not
more
want to
division.
see overtime here. And even yesterday,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Rhino. Rhino. There you go.
Oh,
Cross
it's
travel.
out.
It's loose.
That's a save. That's
All
a
right.
save.
There's 2 pucks. Oh, no. It's the back of a stick.
Yeah. This is important to like, for the standings, and also it's also a level setter and reminds
Close, Swamp Bug.
the Florida teams who's on top.
You could have lifted that just a little bit. I have
It's always
facts.
so easy from the chair.
I know, right? I say that all the time. I'm like, you gotta lift that, and then I'm like,
Come on, a
wait
little
a sec.
sauce,
and then I
please.
rewatch it in like, actual time, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
how did you make
I
even
could
that
never do
decision
that.
quickly? I would have gotten hit first.
right?
Wow.
I would have
did you-
just whiffed.
Did you see that? Tampa is 0 for 6 on the power play tonight with 11 shots. So
You've
our-
given them 6 power plays?
Undisciplined.
well, I think the double minor, counts for
Oh,
2.
yeah. Double
Yeah, it's
minor was
added
tough.
up. Uh-oh.
This is trouble.
No way.
Yeah!
Bobby!
Let's go.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Who needs a backup?
Yeah.
Us.
Oh, that's awesome.
What?
Yeah, Driggs isn't making that save. I'm sorry.
No,
Right.
Driggs is
Out.
giving that shit up every day.
Barkov looking for the Hattie.
And
Shit
that,
it.
Ooh, and that's the thing.
Here we
Knight could
Barkov's
make those
got it.
saves. Knight would make
I would make those saves.
Knight would make the hard saves look
Ooh.
easy and the easy saves look hard a lot of the time.
That reminded me of Marchand's breakaway.
We're gonna score.
where
Oh my
yes. Yes.
In game 5 or 6.
Yeah,
was it?
yeah, 5.
We're gonna do it. Come on. We're gonna do
EL says Officer Bob is on the case.
it. Let's go.
Absolutely. Come on now. Put it
Back
in.
on the case.
Bobrovsky.
Bob's been on the case.
Oh, here we go, shoot.
For like a year and a half straight. Oh, that looked like it.
Oh my God! Fucking Lundy kept it
What a
in.
hold. What a hold.
Oh no,
That's-
we're up. Oh no, we're up.
No, we're good. We're good.
Oh.
All
right, get back, get
All
back,
right,
get
did we
back.
get our change on the back end?
Oh my God.
Apparently we didn't. How do you let him squeak?
Also, what a terrible pass.
Like,
he
is no one yelling, "Hey, power play is about to end"? Like,
Yeah.
check the box.
I think they have an invention for that. That's the goalie stick slamming on the ice.
Yeah, right.
I want to see this reaction on the recording.
There we go. There we go. I love this.
They gotta be.
Did you guys not get like kind of like goosebumps when we did this against the Oilers the other night? And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God, of
I was like,
course.
oh.
Rhino had it for a good 12 seconds
Yeah.
or whatever it
Are
was.
they gotta be empty net here any second now if they get out.
Yep. Yeah, they're pulling.
I'm
as soon
honestly,
as they get possession. in our
yeah.
zone.
This game's almost over. They haven't pulled their goal. Come on.
There we go.
There it is.
Empty
There
net.
it goes.
Oh, the
And thank
fight.
you.
It's so much
Good
easier to
timing.
score when
Get it to
Vasi's not
Barkov.
in. Oh,
No.
spoke too soon.
Here we go. Who is that out there? We got Lundy.
Focus.
I think he just went to the.
Erod.
Yeah, I feel bad. I
Mr.
haven't really
Ryan.
gotten to
There
pay
we go.
attention
There we
to
go.
how
There we go.
Seth Jones is playing.
Almost.
Oh.
Icing? Beep. No? Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't sure if it deflected.
So really quick fun fact: I have Kemper and Knight on my fantasy, and Knight has a 1.2, and Kemper is a negative 2.2. They're playing each other.
What's the score right now in
LA
that game?
versus
1-2.
Chicago.
It's Chicago. Yeah. Chicago versus LA Knights.
Here's
Or
a,
Kings.
I really hope Knight
Right.
does well. I don't believe the conspiracy theory that'll come back to us. I think that he's gonna stay there.
No,
But-
I agree.
I just really hope that Chicago does not mess up his development.
Yeah.
I
Do you think-
35
I think he
seconds
was
left here.
blindsided. Do you think he was blindsided?
I don't
I think so. Yeah. A little bit.
I think he probably didn't expect it, but he must
go.
have known it was a possibility.
Yeah.
Like
20 seconds.
when you miss an entire season.
Hold on.
That came out.
Yeah, that was offside.
Thank
Okay.
God.
Okay.
I mean, but it also must be like flattering for him.
Oh yeah, I would
Like
say
what
so.
an
Like
offer. But I do think he was blindsided. I don't
That's-
think he. I would imagine he didn't ideally want it. I would imagine he would have wanted to stay with
if
playoff and Stanley Cup potential.
But maybe he wants the chance to start, and to be the guy. So Soderblom has been pretty good for them. He's developed a lot in Chicago. Mrazek's he's had a bad year. So I think it could be a split situation, or it could be the job is for the taking. Chicago's in a bad spot.
He's starting there, right? I didn't even.
I
I've
mean,
never even questioned it. Is he
Timeout,
starting
Lightning.
Who is their goaltender otherwise? Or who? Yeah.
Mrazek and Soderblom. I don't know how to say his name, but
there? He must be starting.
Mrazek's got to be starting.
John Cooper is like whining like.
Mrazek's had a really bad year, but I mean it's also
It's Chicago.
It's Chicago. That's the thing. But it could be a good thing for Knight to be seeing all these shots and not have the Panthers, one of the best defensive teams in the league,
Right.
sheltering him, so to speak, and just letting him get the reps in.
Yeah.
Could be good. I mean,
Pro.
but he also got the reps in Charlotte, so
Yeah.
But every time he went down, it was like he's the greatest player in Charlotte. Like it seemed like he was putting up incredible numbers. What more is there to do in the AHL than to come and put up worse numbers in the NHL and get better at playing NHL hockey? I guess. Like if you're the best in the AHL, you should be up in the NHL.
you should be up here, yeah, 100%.
Did we have Drieger's
Big
stats
fish, small
compared
pond.
to Knight stats when they were down there?
I will check right after this game wraps up.
13,
15.
12, 11, 10.
Finish this out. Let's go, boys.
Is that another offside?
Boring.
Dude, the Lightning they're just fumbling. They can't even enter the zone.
I'm excited to
Got
end
him.
their streak.
By the way, this final minute is brought to you by Anajar and Levine.
There you go.
A
We got
Publix
a
power
penalty.
play. A Publix power play.
I think it's a penalty on us.
No way.
Tripping. Yeah, I mean, it was in our
Oh,
zone, so
shit.
that makes sense.
Lundy!
One more time with the sad noise.
I got the Lundy jersey on. Sad.
All right, we got a 6-on-4 for the last 9 seconds of the game.
All right, Rhino,
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's such a
Rhino,
mess.
Make any sense.
All right, here we go.
Rhino.
Let's get a little sound.
Rhino's on the bench. Rhino. No, he's not.
I'm having so much fun with you guys.
Taylor,
I
turn
don't
the
want it
music
to
on
end.
just a little.
Oh!
Oh,
Forget it.
that was a good face-off.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tampa.
blocking everything. Uh-oh.
No goal.
has it.
No
Bob
goal.
has it.
No goal.
Oh, let's go.
It never no. It went to the right side. It never went in.
Bobby stopped it, and then somebody cleared it out of the crease behind him.
Yeah.
Very even game. 29 shots on
gotta
goal
see
for
that
both teams.
replay. Holy shit.
How did that stay out? Bob made a couple of
Officer
Bob wants to see it. He's like looking.
unreal saves tonight.
Look at that. Yeah, he stretched to his left, and then he got a glove or pad on it. Oh no, his post.
Oh.
Went right
Oh,
behind him.
Bob didn't make that save. The post
Nope.
made that save.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, way to wipe away from the.
I'll
replay,
take it
guys.
though. All right, the Panthers beat their bitter in-state rivals.
You wanted that HD camera.
They take two extremely important points.
We
Yeah.
ended
Did it in
their
regulation.
streak.
We ended
We
their
ended
8-game
their
winning
streak.
streak.
Wow.
See you later, Lightning. Ending the streak. That's huge. Let's get a look at the standings that are definitely not updated yet.
Still
Let the
got
Reds
a lot,
fly.
decent amount of hockey left to play. 19, 20 something games
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, Maple Leafs were 1 point ahead, right? So did we take first back?
Yes,
Yeah,
but they
hockey
have a
left to
game in
play.
hand, I believe. So, beating
As of now.
But what really matters, I think, for us more than anything, play our brand of hockey for the rest of the year and then turn it up against the Leafs and against the Lightning for our remaining games, because that's how we win our division. I know it doesn't really matter. You just want to get to the playoffs healthy. As long as you're in the dance, we saw that as an 8 seed 2 years ago. You can go pretty far. But
That was incredible.
I don't want to have to play the Leafs, the Lightning, the Capital, Carolina. Like look at these first round potential matchups. Even New Jersey, I think we would handle them just
I'm gonna
fine.
pull up the wild card standings.
Columbus and Detroit. Columbus actually scares me a little bit more than Detroit, but the Rangers are still, like, all these teams. Ottawa, that would be an incredible matchup, but I would much rather play Ottawa or the Rangers,
Can't
any
believe
of these
Columbus
wild card
is in it.
teams
Yeah.
than these division leaders.
Yeah. Easily.
The Devils are the only team where I feel like, yes, we are better, like straight up, we are
Yeah.
better than them. everyone else, I'm like, well,
Yeah, but Boston always
who
something.
knows?
Yeah, you never know.
well,
Devil's
Boston, I
la-
just assume are going to sell and
Yeah.
and accept
Sure.
their fate and not make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, feel very comfortable about any potential
Turkey.
wild card team and who we could face here. I mean, you got Columbus, Detroit, Rangers, Senators.
I want to shout out Columbus. They have been such a fun team to watch this year. For a team who was expected to pick possibly first overall going into the year, and what they've dealt with this season, this past off season, dude, they have such fun young talent. That top line is incredible. They just got their captain Boone Jenner back.
Jenner.
Kirill Marchenko has been like a revelation. They've got a few other guys who have just like Voronkov has stepped up. They've got a lot of really Adam Fantilli has been awesome. They are going to be good very soon, and it could be as early as this year. I still don't like Merzlikins as a playoff goalie. I think when he's on, but don't totally.
Do you think
trust
they're
him.
buyers right now? Do you think they're actually going to go out and make a move, or are they going to just stick and just try to like make the playoffs with who they have?
If I were them, I would just stick with what I have because they're young, and I think that would be better for them personally. But
Swamp Bog says that top line is incredible. Is me when I hear a great Miles Davis record. We also got a comment from EL saying I have the same reaction, Court. I'm not sure if that's in reference to the game win or what, but she had the same reaction.
As she should.
And Swamp Bug says we need a Panthers Red Wings matchup. That would be super exciting to see Kane, Tarasenko,
Lion,
just a lot of really great players.
I know Cam Talbot starts there, but still,
we get to see him on the bench. Well,
That's the Red Wings goal horn.
hey, that's pretty good.
That's specific, yeah.
Pretty good.
I like it.
Well, I'd say I don't know if you guys are good, but I think we can wrap things up here.
Yeah, nearly
I
a
think
2-hour
that
That was
pod.
a solid convo.
Very great. I mean, without even an awkward silence at all. Just
Not
because
one.
everyone just fucking loves talking about the Panthers.
Yeah.
Easy to do.
Seth Jones
My
gets
reaction
a win in his
was
first
that-
game.
And to clarify, L says my reaction was to the end of buzzer, not goal, not save. Oh yeah, like what was your reaction? How did you interpret the chaos at the end of the game right there?
I don't know the same.
You're just fucking like
I
holy
don't
shit,
know.
holy
I don't
shit,
even
holy
remember.
shit.
I blacked out.
Yeah. No, I think we all sort of blacked
It
out
might have
there.
been like an on-camera thing where she was quiet, we couldn't see, but
Yeah, y'all.
you
are
can see it on her
loud.
face. We are
Yeah.
loud.
I just
Sorry for
can't. I
talking
can't
over
help
you.
but stand up whenever I'm like stressed out about the game. Sitting is not working.
Half your head's been clipped the whole show.
I'm just like, oh, look at my
Taylor in the
logo.
black beanie. New look.
I don't know what the sign-off is. You do it. I've heard it twice.
And now it starts a new conversation.
Courtney gasped and covered her mouth.
Yeah, probably.
I think she also stopped breathing. All right, so we're gonna leave it there. It
It's the way.
It has been
Gotta learn
so
it.
great talking to everyone. And as usual, now this was a Brooklyn-based version of the Pucking Panthers podcast.
All in
you know,
one
you
place.
got Court, you got Supervisor Dan. Oh, look at this! Look at all that
You
action.
can almost see. Sorry
Hey.
if you get seasick, but that's how it goes.
Look at this chaos. Look at this chaos. Jesus Christ. This
Chaos is fun.
nuts. This is nuts. All right. Well, that's gonna about do it for tonight. The Battle of Florida once again goes to Florida.
Crush Tampa!
The Crush Tampa ended their streak. Snap, 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 snap. Barkov being a beast as usual. 2 goals on the night. Back in first place, and we'll stay there as long as Toronto keeps losing. But thanks anyone who tuned in. EL, Swamp Bug, thanks for all the comments. We love you
Oh,
both.
the first guy.
Thank
What?
you. Yeah, thank you for.
Oh yeah, and the first
actually
guy who's
watching.
totally still watching. Really appreciate
Dwayne,
the
I
comment.
forget his name. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to us ramble.
All right. Well,
Damien and Mr. Stephen Wolf.
Damien and Stephen Wolf. Really
Thanks for being
appreciate
here
you
as
guys.
well.
But once again, this is the Pucking Panthers podcast where we don't give a puck. We'll see you next week.